Hello students, I am Dr. Stuti Singh from ABS Engineering College, Applied Sciences and Humanities Department. So again now we will be continuing with the wave optics part 1 and let us quickly see what we have done in the last. See, we were talking about Newton's rings and its applications. So we talked about necessity of an extended source. We talked about the experimental arrangement for forming the Newton's ring. We also, explained that why and how the circular rings are forming. We discussed the effective path difference over here and condition of maxima and minima. Then we derived the diameter for bright ring, in which we use this diagram. And we also discussed that in this plano convex lens and glass plate and in the air film at T thickness, there is a ring that is forming of radius r, small r. Now this ring can be the dark ring or it can be the bright ring that we will theoretically derive. So from this diagram, we found out the value of T at which point the ring was forming of the radius small r. So T is r square upon 2r. Then we calculated the diameter for bright rings, in which we saw that the diameter of bright ring are proportional to the square root of odd natural number. And I said this is an important conclusion because the question is also asked from this concluding line. Show that diameter of bright rings are proportional to the square root of odd natural number. Now we will be calculating in this lecture, we will be calculating the diameter for dark ring now. So for dark ring. Okay. So for dark ring, let us see now, it means for the dark ring, the thickness equation T, that is r square upon 2r, that we have to put in the condition of minima. So what is the condition of minima? The condition of minima is 2 mu T is equals to n lambda. So now let us substitute the value of T from equation number 2 that we derived from the diagram. The 2 mu r square upon 2r is equals to n lambda. Okay, from here, as you have to calculate the diameter and small is the r is the radius. So, let us mold the whole equation towards the r. So n lambda r upon mu. Fine. And what is the value of, see over here again we can see before calculating d diameter, let us talk about radius. Over here again we can see that r is depending on lambda. It is depending on n, as lambda, r and mu all are giving the constant value. So again we can write that if r n is the radius of nth dark ring or dark ring, then we can write this equation as Rn square is equals to n lambda r upon mu. And from here we know the diameter can be written as dn square is equals to what? What is Rn? How we can write Rn in terms of dn? Dn by 2, right? So what will be the dn square equals to? It will be 4n lambda r upon mu, or dn will be equals to under root 4n lambda r upon mu. Okay. So from here we can see, we can, see that the value of mu for the air film is 1. So for air film, mu is 1. So what will the dn square will be equals to? Dn square will be equals to 4n lambda r, or dn is equals to k under root n. Okay, let us put k dash over here because k we used in the diameter of bright ring. So k dash into under root n. So what is the value of k dash here? K dash is equals to under root 4 lambda r. So again, we can conclude from here, the value of n, let us write down, n is equals to 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. So from here, what we can conclude is the diameter of dark the diameter of dark ring are proportional to the square root of the natural numbers. So again, this conclusion, natural numbers. Okay, again, this conclusion is very important because the question is asked in a manner that show that the diameter of dark rings are proportional to the square root of natural numbers. Okay, so both the concluding lines, even of the bright ring and even of the dark ring, are important. Okay, fine. Now let us discuss a conceptual question over here. See, it can be asked that show that the spacing decreases with the order of the ring, and fringes get closer or rings get closer. Okay. So what we need to do is, we need to answer this question now because we have already calculated the diameter of bright and dark rings. And the diameter of bright and dark rings plays very important role in, in the application part of the Newton's ring and in answering the conceptual questions too. So now if dn plus 1 and dn are the diameters of nth and n plus 1th dark rings. Okay, then how we will calculate the spacing? Then the spacing is given by dn plus 1 minus dn is equals to k under root n plus 1 minus k, we can take common, under root n. So now you keep substituting the value of n. Okay, so what will it become? If n is equals to 1, the n is equals to 1, 2, 3, keep putting the value of the order. What will it become? D2 minus D1 is equals to K under root 2 minus under root 1, or D3 minus D2 is equals to K. As we are talking about darkening, we can put this as K dash. K dash under root 3 minus under root 2. Similarly, D4 minus D3 is equals to K dash under root 4 minus under root 3, and so on. So with this, we can prove that the diameter, the spacing of the rings decreases and the rings get closer as the order of the ring increases. Okay, so this is the manner of proving it. And practically also, you would have seen this, that practically too, when you perform Newton's ring experiment in the lab, the rings that are, not exactly at the center, but, they are in the far order, they are more close to each other. So that practical situation is shown here by the help of theory. Okay. Now, if I talk about Newton's ring, by transmitted light. So what will be the path difference? So for transmitted light, now what we are talking? We are talking about plano-convex lens. We are talking about glass plate, but this is the air film of angle theta. Okay, and the light is incident normally on this. The light that is reflected here now this is the transmitted ray, then it travels in the air film and then it is reflected again this side. So now ray 1 and 2, these rays are nothing but the transmitted rays. Okay, so now we are not talking about the reflected rays over here, we are talking about the transmitted rays. So when we talk about transmitted rays, then what is the path difference? The path difference in the NR, that too of the transmitted ray, is given by 2 mu t. And so again, condition of maxima is given by 2 mu t is equals to 2n minus 1 lambda by 2 and 2n plus 1 lambda by 2. So what is the role of n over here? N will be starting from 1, 2, 3 and so on. And in this case, n will be starting from 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. Okay. And condition of max minima will be, what will be the condition of minima? So condition of minima is given by 2 mu t is equals to n lambda, where n is equals to 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. Okay. So again, we can see from here, or we can see from the situation, that the reflected system and the transmitted system, even in the Newton's rings, are complementary to each other. Okay, so we can clearly see from here that they are complementary to each other. Okay, now next we are going to talk about, what we are going to talk about is about the application of the Newton's ring. Okay, so in the lab also, you would have found out the wavelength of sodium light using Newton's ring setup. So how theoretically also, let us derive the formula for finding out the wavelength. So in a manner, we are applying Newton's ring or the diameters of Newton's ring to find out a wavelength of a light. Okay, so it's a sort of an application of Newton's ring. So for what is the first application? The application of Newton's ring. So with the help of Newton's ring setup, we can find out the wavelength of sodium light. So it is the determination of wavelength of sodium light using Newton's ring. Okay. So for calculating the wavelength, theoretically, if we want to see the formula or derive the formula, what we have to consider, let diameters are very important. So let dn and dn plus p be the diameters of the nth and n plus pth dark rings. Okay, so respectively. So if we write the diameter, then we know that what is dn square equals to 4n lambda r, because the over here the wedge shape film, that is, it is of air film that it is forming. And if we write the diameter for dn plus p square, then what will it be? 4n plus p lambda r. Okay, where p is any number, p is any number or integer, and r is radius of curvature of the lens, and r is the radius of curvature of the lens. Okay, so further what we will do is, let us subtract these two. So what will it become? dn plus p square minus dn square. What is it equals to? It is equals to 4p lambda r. So what is lambda equals to? The lambda is equals to dn plus p square minus dn square upon 4p r. So this is the formula for calculating the wavelength of sodium light using Newton's ring. And in that also, we are using the diameter of the Newton's ring. And this formula is also equally true for bright ring. Okay, so it is applicable for just 1 minute, students. So this formula is applicable for both. It is applicable for bright ring too. Okay, so we can easily determine the wavelength of sodium light using Newton's ring. Now let us see the another application of Newton's ring. Okay, so what is the another application of Newton's ring? The another application of Newton's ring is to find out or to determine the refractive index of a liquid. Okay, what we have to do is we have to find out the refractive index of a liquid. So another application, it is to or uh, determination of refractive index of a liquid. Okay. So again, what we will do is, as I said before, that the diameters are very important. So let us consider that let dn and dn plus p be the diameters of nth and n plus pth dark ring. Okay, then again, what will be, as we know that what will be the diameters, that dn square is equals to 4n lambda r, and dn plus p square will be equals to 4n plus p lambda r. So if we subtract this, what we were getting, that dn plus p square minus dn square is equals to 4p lambda r. Okay, this is equation number 1. Now, this case is when, see, if I draw a diagram, then this diameter equation that we have written, that is the case when in the air film nothing is there. So only it is an air film over here with an angle theta. Okay, so these are the diameter, and we can write this equation in a similar manner. Now after this, what happens is, suppose we put the liquid between the air film. So that is between the plano-convex lens and the glass plate. So now we need to find out the refractive index of this liquid. So you all know that that when we will be introducing the liquid, then the then refractive index will not remain 1, because now the total film is not the air film. Now there is some liquid introduced, so there will be some change also in the diameter of the rings. It will not be the similar diameter when it was a total air film between plano-convex lens and glass plate. So now let us again consider, after introducing the liquid, what will happen. So let dn dash and dn plus p dash be the diameters of nth and n plus pth dark rings with liquid as medium, of which the refractive index is to be found out. So now what will be the equation now? The equation will be, in this case, dn dash square will be equals to 4n lambda r upon mu of the refractive index. Okay, the refractive index of the liquid, because now there is some change in the refractive index of the film also. It is not a complete air film. So what will be the value of dn dash plus p square equals to 4n plus p lambda r upon mu. So if we subtract these both, dn plus p square minus dn dash square, that is equals to, what we will get is 4 p lambda r by mu. Okay, so this is equation number 2. So from equation number 1 and 2, what we get is, now this is the case of liquid. Fine. And this is the, just 1 minute. And this is the case of air, when the film is air film. And this is the case when the liquid is introduced. So from equation 1 and 2, what we will get? We will get mu is equals to dn plus p square minus dn square air upon dn plus p dash square minus dn dash square of the liquid. So we can also calculate the refractive index of a liquid with the help of the diameters of the rings that are formed due to air film and the diameter of the rings that are formed when the liquid is introduced between the plano-convex lens and the glass plate. So this is another example or application of Newton's ring. There are different more applications, like we can also find out the optical flatness with the help of Newton's ring. Okay. Now, what will be happening? We can even discuss, suppose there are some conceptual questions that can be asked. For example, suppose if Newton's ring, you do the experiment with the sodium light, and in place of sodium light, if we replace that sodium light with the white light, then what will be happening? What sort of interference pattern we'll be getting? Okay, very right. You all are thinking that the pattern that we will be getting will be the rings, but the rings will be colored. Or suppose if we lift, we lift the plano-convex lens a bit from the, little bit above from the glass plate, then what will happen? The rings will come closer. And what will happen? The ring will come closer and closer until they can no longer be separately observed. So if you suppose this is the plano-convex lens, this is glass plate, you just lift the plano-convex lens a bit, little bit above, then there will be some diameters of the rings that will be forming. The rings will be forming, but they will be close. And if we separate it much above, then there will be no pattern of the rings that will be formed. Okay. Then suppose there are some other questions can be asked, like if we place a silver glass plate or mirror in place of glass plate simply, so what will happen? There will be a uniform illumination. Okay. Okay. So yes, now let us see what so in the next lecture we will be talking about diffraction, and we will be also doing the numericals based on the interference. So I just want to say that be ready for the next lecture series. Thank you, students.